Hey Most Amazing Top 10 family, I'm your host Chade Arena and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. If it wasn't already hard enough to be a performer, you gotta work for free a lot of the times, make huge sacrifices to have your dreams come true, and then sometimes they might not even work out. And now on top of that, you need to worry about curses that are trying to kill you. Well, there are a lot of these curses and you guys love hearing about them, and that's why I'm bringing you today's list of top 10 curse performances gone wrong part 2. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, stick around for the whole video because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you all love so much. If you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. If any of you at home want some more Most Amazing Top 10 content, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. If anyone wants to get some Most Amazing merch, check out the link in the description below. Use the offer code MA10, which will give you $5 off. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. To kick off this list at number 10, we have Arnold Buck. You can plan all you want, but sometimes things are going to try to kill you. Arnold Buck was a magician back in the 1800s. He was very talented and mystified crowds for years. One of his most famous tricks was the bullet catch. He would ask an audience member to come on stage. He would give them a bullet to load into a gun, and then he would tell the person to shoot him. A pretty big ask for someone who just came to watch a show. They're like, dude, I just came here to get surprised a couple times, not to receive lifelong trauma. But the bullet was a blank, and Buck would already have a bullet in his hand ready to surprise the crowd. But during a performance in 1840, the audience member he had come on stage had it out for him and loaded a nail into the chamber of the gun with the blank. When he fired the gun, the blank propelled the nail out of it and it went right into Buck's heart and killed him instantly. After that, the guy said, "See, I told you magic isn't real. Mark, you owe me 20 bucks. I just added that last part on the end. At number 9, we have Frederick Frederic. Who cares about celebrities who have one name? This guy has two of the same names. That's a bold move. Old Freddie Squared was one of the better opera singers of his generation. He was a big guy and could hit those heavy baritone notes like a champ, but being a big old opera singer can come at a cost. And in 1888, he was performing in Melbourne, Australia at the Princess Theatre. He was knocking out park and just finished his big number during the famous opera Faust. After he was finished, he was sneaking out of the scene through a back door and he felt something strange in his chest. After a few minutes, he had fallen dead from a heart attack. I guess you could say that the fat lady had sang. At number 8, we have Dimebag Darrell Abbott. The band Damage Plan was created by former Pantera member Darrell Abbott, and they had talent to make it to a high level of success, and just might have if it wasn't for what happened in December of 2004. I know with a name like Dimebag, you're going to think this is something to do with an overdose story, but I'm gonna kibosh that right now and say this has nothing to do with drugs. Damage Plan was performing at a small club in Columbus, Ohio. They had just taken the stage when a man opened fire. Abbott and 3 people were killed along with the lone gunman. The police arrived quickly and shot and killed the assailant. His name was Nathan Gale, and he had recently been released from the military due to mental illness. It's a shame that he wasn't able to get the proper help that he needed before this happened. At number 7, we have Brian Ong. You might not know wrestler Brian Ong, but if you're a wrestling fan, you definitely know the great Khali. The two of them were training together, working on some pretty standard moves for a promotional match. Khali was performing a flapjack on Brian Ong. A flapjack is this.
In this fight here, AT Alien. Whoa, my God!
It looks pretty intense, but with 2 professionals it should go very smoothly. However, Brian mismanaged the move. He grabbed on Khali's shirt while he was in the air, which caused him to land directly on his head. The injuries were severe and he died in hospital a few days later. After investigation, it was discovered that Brian had already been concussed, and the All Pro Wrestling League that they were working for knew about this but still allowed him to work. This led to a major lawsuit that capped out at around $15 million. At number 6, we have Carmen Miranda. There was a time when Carmen Miranda was one of the most famous performers in the world. She was known for incredible singing and dancing skills, her drop-dead gorgeous looks, and her signature fruit hat. If you have never seen a performance of hers, you should probably still recognize all the things she has been referenced in, which is still going on to this day. In 1955, she was performing on the Jimmy Durant Show, and out of nowhere she fell to the ground. Everyone was shocked, but she returned to her feet and finished the performance. Because the show must go on. She thought that she might have just been lightheaded and didn't really think much of of it. Or maybe she was just trying to ignore the real danger she was in. The next morning she was found dead from a heart attack. She was only 46 years old, which is very young for someone to die from a heart attack, and especially for a woman who was in as good a shape as she was, so some people speculate that drugs might have been involved. At number 5 we have Barbara Weldens. In 2017, Barbara Weldens was starting to pick up steam on the French music scene. She was going out on tours and getting accepted into festivals. It seems like things were starting to really work out for her. She was on tour performing at a church when she just dropped to the ground out of nowhere. She was quickly rushed to the hospital, but before she got there she was dead. At first it was a mystery. Some people suspected that she had a heart attack, but she was only 35 years old at the time. She was way too young to have something like that happen to her. But something that Weldon did frequently was perform barefoot. I mean, everyone has their brand. I personally wouldn't go on stage without shoes, but that's because I don't have toes. I actually have 10 little faces that all have different opinions on the movie Save the Last Dance. After an autopsy, it was discovered that Weldon had actually been electrocuted. Her foot touched a malfunctioning piece of equipment which sent electricity coursing through her body. At number 4 we have Sigmund Neuberger. In the late 19th and early 20th century, vaudeville was all the rage. It was a combination of performance styles that would sometimes combine singing, dancing, music, comedy, magic, and really whatever someone could dream up. Sigmund Neuberger was a huge vaudeville star who went by the name The Great Lafayette. He was mainly known for his magic. One of his most famous tricks was the Lion Bride, where a woman would walk into a cage with a ferocious lion. Then the big reveal would happen, and everyone would see that it was just the Great Lafayette in a lion's costume. Everyone would go crazy and Neuberger would make loads of money. But on one occasion everything seemed like it was going as planned, but one of the stagehands knocked over a lantern. Back then everything was made out of wood, so the whole place caught on fire. Neuberger, 10 stagehands, and the lion that he would tour with were all killed in the flames. At number 3 we have Theodore Ronald Bailey. It's not just Bailey that I want to put at number 3 on this list, but the 7 other musicians who died with him. Bailey and all the other boys who went down with him were the musicians who were playing on the Titanic. That must have been such a bummer. You finally score a sweet cruise ship gig and then you die. Before they die, they're probably all like, if we nail this gig, we can work cruise ships forever and have a stable life. And then next thing you know, you're all drowning and dying from hypothermia. There's a legend that goes along with their deaths as well. It's said that in all the chaos of the sinking ship, they didn't stop playing music, which is brave and kinda crazy. They were like, hey, you know what everyone needs to help this stressful situation? A little jazz. And actually maybe it did help, it always calms me down. At number 2 we have Goodbye to Gravity. I wouldn't expect you to be familiar with Romanian metal band Goodbye to Gravity. That's a pretty obscure area of music, but you might have heard about October 30th, 2015 when their pyrotechnics lit the venue they were playing in on fire. It was known as the Collective Nightclub Fire, and it was absolutely devastating. Fireworks from their performance caught the roofs on fire and flames started raining down on the people watching the show. In total, 62 people were killed in the flames, including 4 members of the band. It is known as one of the most tragic moments in music history, and is probably making everyone rethink pyrotechnics for their shows. And for our number 1 spot, we have The Crow. This is one of the most famous cases of people dying on set, because it is much more current than the other ones on this list, but also because of the strange circumstances. Brandon Lee was playing the lead role in the movie The Crow. During the shooting, there was a scene where Brandon was supposed to be shot by a prop gun, but someone had replaced it with an actual gun. Brandon was shot and killed. What makes the story so creepy was that the plot of The Crow is about Brandon's character being killed, then gets revived by a crow with some sort of supernatural powers, and then takes revenge on the people who killed him. Obviously just a coincidence, but still very eerie. Alright everyone, that is our list, and as promised I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets every day, so if you don't get picked one day, message back another day. You can message me as many times as you want, and if it takes me a little while to get back to you, I am very sorry, but I literally have hundreds of these to do, so it takes me a little while to work through them. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. First we have Ben's dog Oreo. With that black and white mix, this guy's really living up to his name. Next we have Idol and Phoebe, a couple of stylish little cat friends. Julia sent in a pic of Benny. Look at that nice little orange boy, he's so cute. Teresa sent in Keanu. This guy has such a nice tuxedo on, very fancy boy. Then we have Liz's cat's Baby and Chumina, just lounging around, loving each other's company, it's so great. And finally we have Hunter's dogs Anubis and Odin. They both look like they just caught on the chair and they know they're not supposed to be up there. They're like, ugh. I love when dogs have that look on their face. Alright everyone, that is our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been Shade Arena, and wish me luck for next time we go on stage. I don't want to end up on one of these lists. And just might have if it wasn't for what happened on December. And just might have if it and just might have if it wasn't what happened. And just might have if it wasn't for what happened. and just might have if it wasn't. He grabbed onto Kyle's shirt, and while he was in the air, he crashed into. And while he grabbed onto Callie's shirt, but you might have heard about the.